Hey there, welcome back. So although subsequent videos are going to cover a lot of the more how-to stuff, this one, we're going to call this is where the secret sauce is. This is where you are going to change your experience. So we're going to call this mastering your mindset. And I'm going to talk about stuff that may not actually be in your wheelhouse yet. It may not sound familiar. It may not make maybe even sense to you, but here's my request is for the length of this video and even beyond, try it on as if, maybe this is true. I've seen this, I can't even tell you over and over. I've even had clients who have come to me who, when I review their profile and review their photos, they're fine. They work, but they're having terrible results. And it's almost inevitable that what's really going on is their mindset is not supportive of what they want. And we always have one. We always are operating from what I call a context or a belief system. And when it comes to online dating, unfortunately, most people have latched onto something that is something like, this is going to hurt. This is going to be a bummer. This is going to be painful. This is going to take too long. This is going to be, I'm going to meet creeps. So all of these things are a context from which we operate, and it radiates a lot of energy. So this is the energy conversation. Your energy matters so much. So let's talk first about what a lot of people tend to, either they've experienced it or before they jump into online dating, they hear it from other people, the things that people get nervous about. Right? Scammers tends to be a big one. And does it happen? Sure. Scammers are people showing up that they're not interested in, or that it takes too long, or that all people want to do is perpetually text, or that the people are liars, they're married, nobody ever actually asks you out on a date. You fall for somebody and they disappear, all this ghosting stuff. There's, sure. Do those things happen? Yeah. What we're going to talk about during this video is going to vastly improve the way that you relate with those things and how they actually impact you. Okay. So rather than having a context be a default one, a more fear-based one, rather than having it be something like, oh, this is going to be hard, I'm going to encourage that you create one for yourself that is very uplifting, empowering, it jazzes you, it has you feel enthusiastic. And the more you say it to yourself, by the way, the more you're going to believe it. So let me throw out a few that I think actually work pretty well. Make sure you're taking notes while we're talking about this anyway, by the way. So some of the ones that I think are really empowering and effective, this is going to be an adventure. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to meet a lot of interesting people. I'm going to get to learn a lot about myself and practice really great stuff. Everything that happens is unfolding for my highest good. I am going to get to contribute to people and to contribute to the healing between men and women, or as I like to call it, sprinkle healing magic in the world. Just every person that you encounter is a gift. Every person gets you closer to what you want. I mean, all of these as a belief statement, as a context, will be so empowering. And if you think about it, the more you're saying that to yourself, by the way, if you didn't already notice, every single one of these, you have complete control over. It is not determined by what somebody else does or doesn't do. It's an adventure. I'm having fun. I'm sprinkling healing magic. Every person on my journey is a gift. Everything is unfolding for my highest good. All of those has nothing to do with anybody else. And yet, when you encounter some of those possibly challenging experiences, you're going to get to decide what that experience really is, right? Oh, that guy who I thought was great and he disappeared. What a great teacher, right? What a great teacher. Trust me, your context will have a massive influence on your experience. All right. So that's the first part, is just the kind of the filter through which you have your entire online dating adventure. I do love that as a context, by the way. This is an adventure, every bit of it, an adventure. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is expectations, because expectations, boy, I'll tell you what, those things can absolutely kick our butts, can't they? In every kind of situation in life, expectations, oftentimes we don't even know that we have them, and oftentimes they're not actually satisfied, which leaves us not feeling great. So I want to make sure that your expectations are helpful. All right, the first one is, now, sure, you're launching yourself into this online dating adventure. You've just done your thing with John. You're all excited and you know what you want. So yeah, do you want this to happen like that? If you said no, I would think, I wonder if you're really telling yourself the truth, because it's a human thing, right? I want what I want and I want it now. However, what I want you to actually set yourself up for is the expectation this will take 6 months to a year. Might it happen sooner than that? Sure. But if you know that this is going to be your adventure for 6 months to a year, you're going to have more staying power than if every day you're looking at your watch and saying, why isn't that person here yet? Why is this not working? So it's going to take time. Another thing to expect is that you're going to hear from a lot of people who are not a fit for you. A lot. In fact, here's what I want you to just tuck away someplace as a bit of awareness. Every single person you encounter, until you choose the winner, will be the wrong person for you. All the way up to when you choose the winner, wrong person for you. Now, if you've got a great context, that's going to be fine, right? Because every single person is a gift to you. Every single person gets you closer to what you want. Every single person is a contribution to what matters to you. So all of it, it doesn't even matter who the person is or if it's a scam or whatever. So you will, and there's no way to stop this from happening. Even if you've done a brilliant job with your profile and your photos have nailed it, there are going to be people who are going to write to you and you're just going to think, wow, did they read anything I wrote? Which leads me to my next thing that I'm going to encourage you very strongly to, is to, if you feel inclined to join the manners police, fire yourself from that job. Those people who have bad manners or have bad grammar or anything that you might otherwise find yourself worked up about, listen, you get worked up, you get annoyed, it doesn't matter to them one bit. It doesn't affect them one iota. But you know who gets impacted negatively? You do. It takes you out energetically. Remember, this is our chat right now is about mindset and energy and how much that influences and impacts your experience. So you are going to hear from people and they're going to, you know, potentially misbehave in ways that don't make you happy. Don't worry about it. That's just your next person. That's like you've just taken the next step toward where you want to go. They all matter. That's why it's easier to hold on to that idea of every single person is a contribution and a gift to you. Yay. Yay. They're all good. No matter what, they're all good. So now the other thing to pay attention to is you're going to roll along and you're going to notice people who you think, oh, that's my person. You're going to get all excited about them. It might be because they look like your type. It might be because they've written something in their profile that you think, wow, we were put on this earth to be together. And so here, remember I said a little while ago about you're the chooser? So it's going to happen, and it will happen. It happens to everybody. In fact, what this triggers is this affliction I affectionately call attachment-itis, right? It's the inflammation of the wanter. And so you have seen this person and now some part of you gets really attached to an outcome with this person. This is my right one. This is how this is all supposed to go. This is the path that we are supposed to be on. it's it's a counterproductive thing, although remember it's a human thing, but it is really counterproductive because when you get into that attached state of mind, that state of being, it triggers a few things, none helpful. It triggers self-delusion. And that can look one of two ways. In fact, it usually looks both ways. One is that you will overlook things that are true. And you will invent things that are not. I know this woman, I've known her for years, and the last serious relationship that she had, and she had done a lot of work to know what the right kind of person was, what the right kind of relationship was, but she was feeling very nudgy about getting this done. And so she meets this man online, fine man, by the way. She meets this man and she invented that he was spiritual, because that was an essential thing for her, that she invented that he was spiritual. And she overlooked the fact that he was actually not very generous, because she needed for this relationship to work with this man. So off she went, deluding herself. 4 years later, bad crash and burn. And of course, all along the way, realizing, wow, first of all, he does not fit this requirement I have for spirituality. And he's a very stingy man. So you can imagine that they had some pretty rocky times until they called it quits. So this is the consequence of attachment-itis. We will just make it fit. And oftentimes that comes with some kind of self-delusion. All right, so that's a really danger. So know that it's going to happen. And by the way, the best cure for attachment-itis is to make sure that you keep reaching out and keep interacting with other people, because to some extent, attachment-itis is sort of a scarcity-driven thing. So a good cure is put more people in the queue, more people. Works like a charm. You getting all worked up about somebody, go poke around, go look for some new interesting people. It'll loosen the attachment function, okay? I think that's all I want to say about mindset for now. Just realize that this thing that we've just been talking about, super, super important to your overall success, even just to the experience that you have while you are cruising toward this relationship that you want, right? Is managing your mindset. So you're going to have a context that's going to work for you beautifully. You are going to manage your expectations. One last thing I want to say, by the way, because you're going to need to do this, you're going to stay in the right kind of shape and all of, optimistic, and you've got the right context. And because this is work, it involves your heart. So that you're going to get fatigued. It's going to happen. So rather than jumping on to your dating session when you're feeling depleted and you're feeling like maybe the fear-based context has started to creep back in, whenever you notice that you're about to jump online and you're just not feeling it, it's time for a break. You may need to take a break regularly. It doesn't matter. The frequency does not matter. The length to some extent matters a little bit. You don't want to take a 3-month break, but a few days, absolutely. And in that time, don't think about it. You just get your tanks filled up again. It'll be really important. And you can imagine, right? If you're going to do this right and you're going to manage your mindset and stay in the best possible shape, it requires rest. All right. So anyway, I will see you on the next video. I hope this made sense to you. And of course, we also have a call at some point that we will do together. So if you want to dive more into this juicy, meaningful, far-reaching topic, it'll be a great thing to talk about. All right. See you on the next one.